We can actually define our own components by deriving from the existing classes. For this module, we are not really concerned with custom components. We want to learn how to use the existing components and how to attach existing components first. But we'll do a simple demonstration, and then in the next module, we can explore custom components further. From what I discuss in this demonstration, you should be well on your way to implement whatever custom components you need. With some research and experimentation, I will demonstrate two ways of getting to the class creation wizard when we want to create a custom component. Firstly, we can go to Tools and New C++ Class, as we are familiar with already. Scroll down a bit and we have the components right here, including the scene component and the actor component. All we want for this demonstration is to print out the actor's name, and in a future lecture maybe the actor's location. For this reason, the component does not need a transform, and so we will derive from the actor component. For now, I will cancel and select some actor in the level, such as our dummy actor. In the Details tab in the Component section, we can now click to add more components to this actor, as I've demonstrated before. In addition to adding an existing component, notice that when we click on this Add button, we can create a new Blueprint script component or a new C++ component. I will click New C++ component, the wizard comes up, and I will select Actor component for the parent. Click Next. I will name this something like Property Log component, since this will simply log some of the properties of whatever actor it is attached to. At the moment I don't have Visual Studio open, so if I click Create Class, it should open Visual Studio and then we will see our new files. Notice this class derives from the UActor component. The uClass macro has this meta specifier with a blueprint spawnable component argument. This allows us to spawn the component within a blueprint. So basically in blueprints we can click the Add button and then add the component to a blueprint or to an instance and actor in the level. Don't worry about meta specifiers for now, the plan is to discuss those in the next module. Notice what we have with this class. We have the constructor, begin play, and then also tick component, which is called every frame. So this is similar to the actor class that we've seen before. For an exercise, I want you to log the name of whatever actor owns this component. Remember that we attach components to actors, right? And so they are owned or managed by actors. As a hint, you can use the getOwner function to get the actor that owns the component. In the property log component source, in the begin play function, we can use the function getOwner to return the actor that owns this component. I will assign that to a pointer to an actor, which I will name component owner. Next, I will create an fstring variable named ownerName. What will be assigned to that? Well, I will use our component owner pointer, and from that I will get the actor name or label that returns an fstring. I will log that using the uelog, a log temp, display, or warning if you want. And in the text macro I will print log component owner and then use the s specifier, comma, and then that ownerName fstring, making sure to prepend an asterisk. Save that and then rebuild using the live coding feature. I will make sure to dock the output log and then filter for log temp. You may have to play first before log temp will show up. Remember, we can also filter for verbosity if we want. Now with an instance of our blueprint dummy actor selected, for example, in the Details tab I can click the Add button to add our component. We can search to filter, and so I will search for property log. Click that to add our component to this instance. Now if we play, we get a display log that displays the name of that instance. I will add another instance of our dummy actor blueprint in the level. Remember that the component is not added to the class by default. We will actually have to open up the dummy actor blueprint and then add our property log component to the class if we want that to be part of every instance of that blueprint. Notice that this property log component does not have a transform as discussed before. That is because it derives from UActor component. I will compile and save that. And if we play test, all of the blueprint dummy actor instances should now have that component attached, and they will log the name of their owning actor. So in this lecture we've seen on a basic level how we can create our own custom components by deriving from those existing classes. But what if we want to set up the attachment by default? So in previous examples, we would have to click the Add button in Blueprint for the Blueprint class defaults or on a per instance basis to add a component. But what if we want to set up that attachment by default so that if we spawn in an instance of a C++ or a Blueprint class, that we have a component hierarchy set up by default? Because then we can define a Blueprint derived class, and then we can simply specify the static meshes and the materials that we want to assign to a useStaticMesh component, for example, that is already part of the actor component hierarchy. Well, we will look at how we can set that up in upcoming lectures.